Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. This is an interesting situation here. We are ascending positively within this trend line, bounced off that Fibonacci retracement level within reason here at 0.382 at about 42,500, holding in pretty good shape here. You got to keep in mind we're moving into this Fed meeting here today, and that could shift gears effectively, but generally speaking, we're in a pretty good place here leading into that. Once more, anything could happen. We were kind of at this tentative top. Price could drop, but I'd much rather wait to get confirmation before taking just kind of a 50-50 trade going into the Fed meeting. So just please be careful if you have a trade open right now. Just generally speaking, adjust your stop losses higher or lower depending on the direction you're heading. So when it comes to Bitcoin here, we want to look at as a few key factors. We'll look at some liquidation levels first, kind of see what's going on there, and then work our way down. So if you are new to the channel, I do like to look at liquidation levels to kind of get perspective on what's going on here. We can see there's lots of liquidation still left at about 44,000. So my anticipation is that we will see that retested here at the very least before the price pulls back. If this is kind of a common or a normal Fed meeting, we'll see the price shoot up and shoot right back down. So we should very well see a liquidation level there. But again, price could seriously drop too. You never truly know. That's why it's best to kind of avoid it altogether in most situations. Okay, so last 7 days we got a pretty large amount of liquidation at lower levels. Okay, heavier concentration at one spot at 44,000 up top, but 42k all the way down to 38, 39. We can see some pretty significant amount of liquidation there. So just heads up on that. That's kind of where we're at in the last 7 days. And of course, as we looked at this here previously on a 1 month, there are some larger liquidation levels above the price action, just as much above as there is below. So you got to keep in mind, there's still much more potential for the price action to shoot up to that 44.5, 45k mark, and then pull back just to sweep that level, that extra level. If you're going to consider a short, I'd say closer to 45 would make a lot more sense, just considering there's a significant gap there. Again, I don't love the idea of shorting right now, just based on how strong and how well Bitcoin has held this level. Yeah, that's just kind of my thought process. So to everybody asking, in the general chat, like, hey, what's the deal? Why would you say that you're going to short at 42.5 and then not? Well, a lot of it hinges on the fact that we've actually broken some tentative resistance levels, and we got to wait for confirmation. I know it sucks, and it's hard because you want to trade every single day. But truth is, you can do that with my Plus group if you want. But when it comes to swing trading, folks, you want to try to wait for confirmation. Like for example, we had full-on confirmation on that injective trade. It just had some bad luck and pulled back immediately as soon as Bitcoin retraced a little bit. Okay, so you got to recognize there are some things that can happen. You just kind of got to roll with it and not overstress yourself. If you're stressed, you're using too much leverage or too much position size. That's all there is to it. This shouldn't be stressful. It should be more of a casual thing, in my personal opinion. But what do I know? I've only been trading successfully for 20 plus years. Let's take a quick look here at the moving averages. So here's a good thing. We're tentatively above. Actually, I wouldn't even say tentative because we closed yesterday above this level, even still with a red candle. So if you take a look at these moving averages here, you can kind of see the 50-day SMA hanging right there at about 43,000. Okay, so 43K, 42.5, pretty strong support level for us. Okay, so that's awesome because if we look at the situation here, we're above the 20-day SMA. That's also a trend setter. Obviously, the other moving averages are good. We can see here as well, we've been converging on the MACD for some time. And then we also have a situation in which we have a stochastic swing to the upside here. Yeah, it's a second swing, typically more beneficial than the first. But a key takeaway here, because I think stochastic gives us false positives on the daily. The RSI being over 50, that's a bullish sign. So until the RSI drops below 50, me personally, I don't really want to consider shorting, because as you can see, the trend is your friend, right? So we took some nice shorts roughly 2 weeks ago. We took some nice profits in this range here when the price action was under 50 on the RSI. We shorted Bitcoin from 43,000 down to like 39K. So you got to keep in mind, there are opportunities, of course, but a lot of times this confirmational sign here, letting us know that we're on the right side of tracks, leads me a little bit more leaning towards the upside than downside. Okay, but again, big picture, there is a good chance we will see the price pull back again before the next major leg up. But is that official? Is that definitely going to be a thing? No one truly knows. So, I would just be careful with too much speculation. I know some folks still be watching like 15 different influencers online. They have a tendency of having conflicting information because they're deluding themselves with too much thought process, right? Trading should be simple. You want to use easier, traditional indicators, in my personal opinion, that kind of help you get confirmation without being overly conflicted with multiple directions. Okay, what is it? Or paralysis by analysis? I've heard. You know that shouldn't be a thing in your world if you're doing it correctly. Either way, 4-hour time frame. We got a stochastic convergence here. We've been above 50 on the RSI for some time now. Again, we've broken bullish, so to speak, within the last week. And in that sense, again, that potential for a further downside is becoming less relevant. So the truth is here, 4-hour time frame is looking very strong with the money flow index being above. Everything looks great here on the 4-hour time frame. Granted, a lot of that hinges on the fact that we just saw a nice amount of volume come into this coin here roughly about 4 hours ago. Okay, so truth is still in pretty good shape here at this point. There's no reason to consider a short position based on the larger time frame technical data. We can also see here we're above all moving averages. Okay, so both the 4-hour and the daily time frame are confirming that the price is bullish right now. Okay, we're honoring this ascending trend line. We bounced off this fib level here, right here at about 42.5. A lot of reasons why Bitcoin is and should be here to stay. Once again, at least this price action for the immediate future, pending we don't see any nonsense today with the Fed meeting. Okay, so if it just kind of everything goes as planned, my speculation is the price will stay and or continue higher. Again, that's just the larger time frames, right? But once more, larger time frames are kind of king when it comes to swing trading because you've got to understand that these are designed to be held for longer periods of time. Okay, all the more reason why you shouldn't be stressing out as soon as a trade is taken and it doesn't go the way you want it to immediately. That's just how it goes. You got to trust in the TA and really just make sure that you understand that there's a big picture involved. All right, that's why we look at the big picture. Okay, so again, I know we just looked at the daily and the 4-hour. That's not everything you may need to be looking at, but to me, it's enough to warrant the thought process of the price action being in pretty good shape here for Bitcoin. I mean, we're making nice higher highs and higher lows. We're really in a pretty good shape here right now. Granted, we haven't broken through this most recent resistance at 43,600 yet, but at this point, the key takeaway here is we broke this most recent low at 43,000, and we're establishing it with a higher high. Okay, so that's an important start to this trend reversal to the downside. Okay, so all the more reason to kind of just be a little more patient here, folks. I know, it's tough. Okay, so let's look at Ichimoku Cloud and kind of see where we're at. This is also another confirming factor-ish, and I want to specify here, we're not out of the woods just yet. We'd get confirmation, obviously. We close above 43.4. I think that'd be an important place there, because just say naturally the price comes over and we close right about this level, then that would be a good consideration for a long, because again, the price action for the lagging span would have moved over, effectively being clear, and then by that time, the conversion line would be above the baseline. But right now, we don't have any good confirmational signs to take a long position, because again, this is premature, right? Just because the price is above the cloud doesn't mean you take a trade. You want to make sure that it can stay above the cloud for a few hours, okay? And that's what confirmation is, being patient and waiting. Right now, a little premature, even though it seems juicy to want to take a long position. Okay, so again, different strokes for different folks. The bottom line here, we just got to recognize that at this point, it's still a little premature. Once we get a confirmation here, I would say if today's trading day closes at 43.5 or higher, that would be a pretty solid confirmation to me to warrant some long positions. Okay, so again, you might disagree with that, and that's okay. Everyone has their own opinion, but so far everything's looking pretty good. We can confirm a few other things as well. I mean, we were talking about a hidden bearish divergence yesterday. I think what was it on the 4-hour, where the RSI was tapering off and the price was going up. Actually, no, I think that was the hourly. So let's just double check that really quick here. So we can see price action moving its way down, right? Or the RSI moving itself down. And then, of course, the price action at that time was moving up, right? So if the RSI is going down and the price is going up, typically it leads you to believe you're going to see the price pull back, which it did, okay? So that definitely confirmed itself. However, what's also confirmed itself is this key level support at 42,500, solid bounce, especially off this ascending trend line, okay? So the truth is here that the price responded very well. Had I been awake a couple of hours earlier today, I would have probably taken a long at 42.5. That was actually my consideration originally, is to consider long at that level. But once more, hindsight's 2020. You can't catch them all, and that's okay, folks. That's just the way it goes. But good news is we'll catch plenty of other good opportunities moving forward, and with our success rate being very high, mainly because we are patient, the odds will work in your favor eventually. Okay, folks? So again, try to be a little bit more patient here. You see a bunch of other people online posting how great they are. Just be careful and cautious in who you follow. I just get a little frustrated with people sometimes how they can just be so blindsided by just how amazing certain things do look and they don't realize how risky those people are being. So again, if you're the type of risky person, you might maybe not a good fit for my community, and that's okay. But again, I prefer to take realistic trades at good times when we have confirmation. And unfortunately, we're in this little transitionary period right now where not a lot of great opportunities are presenting themselves, and we just got to be patient and wait for confirmation. We will get confirmation of the upside or downside, I'm pretty sure, here today, especially after the Fed meeting. So just be mindful of that. Okay? But everything else is kind of pointing up here. If we take a look at liquidation, it makes a tremendous amount of sense for 44.2 to be swept here first. And if that is, I would say between 44 and 45K, that might be a solid consideration for a short once we sweep this upper level of liquidity. But we could see Bitcoin take off and never look back. There is that possibility as well. I think it's less likely, but it is still there. Okay, again, we're on an ascending trend. We got to trust it. The trend is your friend until it isn't, right? So I hope that made sense. Thanks again so much for watching. Make sure you check out Bitunix, phenomenal exchange. Link down below for this if you haven't already registered. No KYC or VPN required exchange, phenomenal. Thank you again, Bitunix, for an awesome opportunity. Thank you as well for just being an awesome part of my life. I do look forward to work with you if you aren't already, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Have a great day.